Happy Halloween, everybody, and welcome to the Tough Luck Podcast. And as you can see, I'm dressed as a pirate. I feel very confident right now, just aesthetically, and feeling extra put together, I guess, for the pod. Not to say that I have to be perfect, but it makes me feel like I'm ready to go when I'm dressed up all fun, and so I do a lot of LARPing and stuff with my husband. We have a lot of costumes, so I might as well put one on and do the podcast as a pirate. And very similarly to a pirate, we have our choose adventure game in life. We don't have one solid path. We have many paths to choose from. To get to that path, a path of fulfillment, a path of enlightenment in some cases, a path of spiritual growth, or just growth in general in life. We have to go through various seasons to be able to fully grow and fully go into that next season with confidence. I laid out my interpretation of the seasons and how they integrate into our daily life. Just because we're in fall doesn't mean that you're in fall season. You yourself may be in a completely different season of life. And I'll go through the first few things with you. Winter. Winter is considered rest. And winter, we have a few various things you can do during this time of rest. Take a bath, take a nap, do things that feed your soul. Things that are not necessarily required to get to the next level, but it's all for your betterment, your emotional, spiritual well-being. So if you think of like a phone battery, your phone battery only has so much charge on it, but you yourself may be able to get to that full battery in just like a few hours of rest. You may need a full day of rest depending on how long it's been, and maybe a couple of days of rest if it's been really long, or even a week. So, and that's more like your vacations and your traveling and needing to fill your soul. So it's really up to the person. Now, every person has a different type of rest. I myself love baths. I love to make it a big thing, and I fill my bath with the bubble bath stuff. Like, I get all cozy, I light some candles, I dim the lights, I make it a night. That's what makes me feel really good, and then I get into some really cozy jammies. But for you, rest may not look like that, and sometimes there's something known as active rest, which is like going for a hike or doing something that really is filling your soul. The second step in season into your growth is springtime. So this is growth. This is where you're actually going from little tiny seed to a little sprout. And what does that mean in a real life setting? It's starting to come, the sun's coming out and I'm loving it. Real life setting is educating yourself, getting to go to therapy or reading self-help books, finding a teacher, a mentor, a guru, as they say, but some gurus, be careful. There's some gurus out there you may need to watch out for. If you're like a religious person, maybe it's a pastor, maybe it's a rabbi, something along those lines. So finding a person who can help you along your path, your journey, and be your mentor for a little bit of time, or a long period of time. And then finding a teacher. So someone, it could be going back to school. It could be taking a course, going online and finding a service tool to better your business. Maybe it's learning through just everyday life. Maybe you're a lifelong learner who picks up things from just going. Maybe it's in your rest time and you learn a thing or two. So that's when you're growing. You're also making a plan. This doesn't require a secondary person. this is just you putting together a plan for yourself. It could mean there's someone else involved, but making a plan for your life and putting together that amazing, fulfilling, enriching life. So there's a lot of different things you can do to grow from a little seed to a sprout. And that's during the spring era of your life. Moving on to the summer season, and this doesn't have to be during summertime, can mean it's during summertime. That's awesome if you have it like that. But it's action, taking action to actually do the plan that you set in place or the thing that you learned during that growing season of your life. And this could be going and starting your own business. This could be following through with projects or finishing deadlines or finally getting to those little chores accumulate over time that you know that you need to get to. You need to get to the next thing. From there, when you finally finish it all up, when you finally get to everything you want to do in life, the plan that you set in place, you're entering into fall era, the fall season of life, which is reflection. So going into that reflective period, maybe you're journaling, maybe you're going on a retreat and you're going through this time and you're finding that this retreat is really fulfilling and would help me get into my own body, and maybe it would be a good time for reflection. And looking through those pictures that you have on your phone, not to say that seeing yourself is going to necessarily awaken like inspiration for yourself in the future, but just seeing like, okay, well, where was I during this time mentally? Where was I during this time when I didn't start therapy, or that time where I wasn't in that course? And man, I think I was struggling a little bit. Maybe I was doing some, I was doing some soul searching back then, and now I think I've grown a lot and I've seen a lot of change. Or maybe you haven't grown that much, in which case it'll tell you what to do next. So going through all the seasons, because we're entering a new year of 2025, which is crazy. That's hard to believe, honestly, because I got married in 2020. Anyway, going through that next stage of life, it's like, whoa. I did a lot this year, and I should be proud of myself because I did the best that I could. And I know that I could be better, of course. There's always room for improvement. But dang, I did a pretty good job. So remembering to give yourself a little pat on the back, maybe give yourself a little treat here and there. I know I do. Like, I did a good job this year. Often it's like perfect timing because it's usually around that Christmas time situation. And so it's like, okay, I get to, get the little thing I wanted all year long. Anyway, you can apply this in any form of your life. So relationships are one, work life is another, home life, money, career, and hobbies. You're going through a massive growth in all these areas of life. And so, for example, like, if I were to take this model and apply it to relationships, for the resting stage, you may need to rest from your partner. I know that's kind of like, oh, whoa, what do you mean? Like taking some time for other areas of your life so you can fill yourself up, so when you get back to your partner, you're all happy and excited and have things to offer and maybe things to talk about and ways to grow and gaining new perspectives from other people in this world. And it enriches the relationship. It makes it better. And then you may need to talk with your partner. This is after the winter, we're going into spring. Talking with your partner and creating that spark. This is more of the concept phase. So what can I do to initiate a spark in my relationship? what can I do to make them feel loved? What can I do to better their life? So that would be the spark. For that summer phase of life, that action, you may need to randomly get your partner chocolates. You may need to randomly do a cuddle fest. I love me a cuddle. Or a hug. You know? Show that love, show that care in the way that your partner receives love. And that would be all done during that growing phase where you're talking with your partner. You're discussing this with your, like, what do you want? What would you like me to do? And it can be random, it can still be sporadic, but you need to gauge what it is that you need to do. So that's helpful. And then the next phase, which is your fall era, you may need to see if it was their love language to begin with. Maybe they are reflecting as well, and they're saying, actually, I didn't really like that you did that one thing. Actually, I didn't really find that as charming as you put it out to be. And you could do the same with them as well. So it's an equal exchange of energy, and then apply that to your other relationships, apply that to your work life, apply that to your hobbies, and everything that you want to see growing in this world has to go through a level of these stages. And I've noticed that I'll go back to reflection a lot, even when I'm in that action phase. So it's not necessarily a cycle, although it can be, but it may look more like a staggered thing. So you may go back 2 seasons and then come forward and then go back. So it doesn't have to be perfect, is what I'm trying to allude to. But as a pirate would be going on an adventure and doing really cool things and being their piratey self, you yourself are on an adventure in life. And this adventure isn't perfect. This adventure isn't about growing all the time. It's just a little tiny spark of inspiration so that when you do hit those milestones of, oh wow, you know, I did a lot this year, you can give yourself a little pat on the back and have evidence to prove that you did do those things. Looking back on those photos and seeing, oh my gosh, look at us. Look at us back then. You know, we were little, or we knew so little back then, but gosh, over the years, we grew a lot. I want all of you to just take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. If it gives you a nugget of inspiration, give it a like, subscribe, do all the fun things. Follow our Yoga Sphere membership at clairvoyanceyoga.com. I'm putting out 4 new videos on November 1st. And I'm trying a little fun thing. It's a little spark of inspiration for those of you who are interested in the membership, but maybe don't want to dip your toes in just yet. I'm going to post some videos to YouTube, yoga videos, and that will initiate your 2025 yoga journey. I am so happy, so blessed to have this audience. It's been almost a year since I was in Lily as well. Started Tough Luck Podcast, and it's just been amazing, and I wanted to express my gratitude to all of you who watch either every week or here and there, and thank you so much for a wonderful 2024. Got some really cool stuff in the works, so